Uno, dos, tres, cuatro. Finally, episode 4 of Unskippable Titles and Unskippable Thumbnails is out. As usual, I'm your host Derek, and as usual, again, we'll be going through my YouTube feed and rating every thumbnail and title on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 means I'm never watching that video ever. 10 means that video is definitely going into my watch list. So let's dive right into it and give you the analysis that you're here for. So as you can see, my page is already loaded. I will not reload. My Wi-Fi is very slow today, so it might take us a while before I get the thumbnails working again. So the first one is obviously an ad. As you can see, it's sponsored from Tumbi. A very nice advertisement. Sometimes I like watching advertisement for the sake of it, but usually I'll not click because they're obviously trying to sell me something rather than the entertainment I'm looking for when I'm on YouTube. So likelihood of clicking is 2 out of 10. Second thumbnail, why nobody will sell me this blue orchid? Okay, $500 declined. Okay, I have no interest in orchids, whether they're blue or gray or red. So this is not a video that really attracts me. It's not a title that I guess it's intriguing. Someone will not sell you an orchid for $500, but that doesn't attract me really, so I'll give it a 3 out of 10. Nice thumbnail and title, but just not for me. Then you go to the shots, and this couple, I know this couple very well. I know you only see a man there, but this is a couple kind of comedy. She wanted rice, then my whole kitchen. Oh, my neighbor's request got suspicious. Okay, now that's intriguing. I know it's comedy and it's short, so I like watching the couple, so I might be biased and I give them an 8 out of 10. But maybe if I didn't know them and I just saw this, I'll probably give it a 3 out of 10. But I know them, so it's an 8 out of 10. Toddler logic, make it make sense. The same thing, same title is repeated in the thumbnail. I don't know what the purpose of that is because I already got the message. But I see a toddler is something that looks like a phone, which is I guess funny. Toddlers are usually funny in the way they think and do things. I'll give that a 5 out of 10. Ryan Hendricks, Weird Buzz, Part 192. If you know this guy, you know. Man, he's very good at rap comedy. I don't know what genre to classify it as. It's funny rap. So they're saying Weird Buzz, Part 192. He has done 191 before, even more. I don't know whether this is the latest one. Without knowing him, click it. Just seeing this, I'll give it a 3 out of 10. But because I know he's going to deliver, as he always does, give that a 9 out of 10. And here you have another one, Ashley B, women's rights. Okay, that doesn't give me much. There's a lot that is talked about that has to do with women's rights. I've watched a few of her videos. That's why you see them on my YouTube feed. And let me just tell you, my YouTube feed is kind of biased in a way. I wouldn't call it a neutral ground for everyone because YouTube knows the things I like watching, so they're most likely to recommend these things over and over again rather than or absolutely new stuff. So I know about her. I've watched some of her videos. Women's rights, okay, that those are not. It's not very interesting just from the title itself and the image. The image is just her smiling. And she does this where she just talks about different stuff, politics, yeah, all that kind of stuff. So I'll give that 3 out of 10. The biggest Steam hack this year just happened. Okay, now I like to know about hacks, although I don't use Steam, so I might not understand what they're talking about, or it might not relate to me at the level I want. Also, the thumbnail doesn't give me much. It looks like a, a clown or a scarecrow or something like that is blending into the wall. I'll give that a 4 out of 10. Let's go to the next one. The three elements of stupidity, according to philosophy. Okay, someone has dissected stupidity and identified three elements of it. I know this is clickbait. I'm sure stupidity versus evil might have something to say. 6 out of 10. what was life 100 years ago? Now I see someone who looks old. I think I hope it's she. I don't know. Is about 100 years old. I like to hear wisdom from those people who have seen so much. They have great stories to tell. And if they were here on YouTube, man, they'd get a good, sizable audience because they have experiences that no one else has, and they have a perspective that not many people ever get to experience. Because how many people are going to live to 100? Who knows? Like less than 1% of the world. So they have a quite unique perspective. So I'll give that a 9 out of 10. Although it's members only and I have not subscribed, so I might not be watching that. Is reading Guna books cheating? Okay, now that's a funny title. I don't know what she's about to talk about unless the entire uh, the entire video is satire. I might click because what a title. That's what I call an unskippable title. 9 out of 10. Slow motion with time lapses tutorial. I love this and I've never been able to know how to do this. It where a video is slow motion, but it's also time lapse. Those two things are like opposites. Slow motion means things moving so slowly, and time lapse means things moving so fast. But there's a way you can make a time lapse that is in slow motion. I don't know whether you get what I'm saying. It probably doesn't make sense just by talking. But I'm probably watching that 10 out of 10. I want to see how he does it. Because he says it's a tutorial. I've seen them, but I've not seen anyone uh, teaching me how to do one. And I'm a photographer, if I have never mentioned in all this. Photographer, videographer, all that kind of stuff. Coding, computer science, and all that. Okay, here's another shot. The first time I ever stole her food. Wait for a notice. Yeah, children's reactions are always fun to look at. 8 out of 10. Cause we are good at our jobs. When people ask if I'm good at my job, I just show them this video. Looks like a man in a. Okay, let's not cheat and look at the preview. Looks like a man in a towel or something like that, torn shirt, and a very serious cameraman taking his photos. Yeah, I wanna see more. 10 out of 10. Dads are not ready for this. Oh, the kid is crying. Every girl dad's nightmare. I'm not a girl dad, but I might be in a few years. Who knows? I'm watching that 10 out of 10. The storage economy is broken. Micro SD is obliterated. 90% price crash. Yeah, I've been saying this a lot. Newer laptops, even the laptop I have, it doesn't have a micro SD card slot anymore. It's the way they phased out the CD, the compact disc. Slowly they phased out the floppy disk, and then the compact disc was the next big thing. Then that was phased out. Then the SD card and the flash disks were the next big thing. Now they're being phased out. I don't know what's next. I'm yet to see. So, the infographics show, this is a big channel and they do this kind of animated kind of stuff. I want to learn about this. Not so much like 10 out of 10. It's like an 8 out of 10. Then the math problem that finds order in any chaos. Very intriguing title, but this is very nerdy stuff. I know I'm kind of a nerd, but not all the time. This is not the kind of content that I will generally just click on. I need some entertainment. I need some entertainment value in it. Although knowledge is also fulfilling in a way, but not every time. 8 out of 10. And there is these videos. I don't know whether you have come across these videos that don't have any titles. You see, the title is blank, and if you go to the channel name itself, you see the profile picture is also blank, and go to the channel name itself is also blank. That's why I subscribe. I think I'm subscribed to this one. Then it's just music, some calm music and all that, and some very strange thumbnails that are not connected. Overall, based on the ones that I've clicked, they are not worth watching. I don't think they are worth watching. But you know, uh, the thumbnail is kinda 9 out of 10. There is no title to work with, so I guess that's a 0 out of 10. But the strange factor, the weird factor of not having a title makes you just want to click to see what the hell is going on. So that's a 9 out of 10. The rejection myth. I'm shy. Yeah, rejection hurts, man. I've been rejected a few times here and there. I'm sure you have if you have passed a certain age. I don't know how old you are, but yeah, you might have gone through rejection. I'm shy. I'm also kind of shy. Yeah? And so this really it speaks to me personally for my personal experiences. 9 out of 10. Better than the FX5. Three Sony cameras better than the new FX5. Number one is the one I would actually buy. Okay, so I'm not planning to buy the FX5 or any other Sony cameras. I used to own the Sony Alpha Mark III. It was about 6 7 years ago. Then I sold it. It was said to be the best cinema camera of the time. But making content is not about the camera that you have. You need content first before getting a camera, which is why I went wrong. I also was filming nothing. I had the best camera, the best lens. I bought a Zeiss 55, the focal length of 55 millimeters lens, and I was not utilizing it to its capabilities. But anyway, like talks about cameras, but I'm not planning to buy a camera soon. That's a 6 out of 10. When your friend group starts business, I don't relate. These are not my friends or anything. Well, my friends have businesses, so I don't know how interesting this is. 6 out of 10. Paralyzed girl learns to run again after months of grueling therapy. Okay, paralyzed. Okay, that's quite a moving story. I'll give that a 10 out of 10. How I feel myself, realistic. Tips for beginners, the reality of filming. And so, people who have not been very experienced in filming, like me, I wouldn't call myself an experienced filmmaker of some sort. So when I see someone who is also getting out of their comfort zone and just learning how to film themselves, I like watching those kind of videos. 8 out of 10. They tried my 3D controller versus Space Mouse at open source. So I don't know what open source is. I've never seen a 3D controller. I might want to see, but it doesn't look very interesting. It's just a controller. Who cares what kind of surface it is? 5 out of 10. Shula King, the MNBA. What is the M for? I know there's the WNBA, which is for women. Then men, or the men is just called NBA, but when it's women, you add a W. He's a comedian, so he always has some funny opinions to give. Let's talk more action. Lo-fi study work, rain sounds. Okay, these are rain sounds which are good for studying, but right now I'm not studying. They're also good for sleeping, but nowadays I've regained my sleep pattern. I don't need the white noise to sleep. But when I did, this is a 10 out of 10, but now I'll just give it a 5 out of 10. We should all be feminists. Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie texts Houston. I don't think feminism is necessarily for everyone. People have their own opinions and their way they see things. I'm not going to be for or against feminism, but saying we should all be feminists, I think, is a bit of an extremist. Anyway, she probably has a reason why. But my probability of watching 5 out of 10. Sidemen, 100,000 USA road trip. I know KSI left. If you know the Sidemen, KSI left. I don't know how interesting the videos are without him. Although I also find the other guys to be fun sometimes. I see they're still pulling a good amount of views, 2.8, but they're usually long, 1 hour 27 minutes. But I've watched videos that are much longer from them, and I enjoy them. 7 out of 10. Progress in HIV cure research. Can a single shot deliver a functional cure? Yeah, I've been seeing this a lot. HIV and AIDS is a big thing in Africa and the rest of the world. So I want to know the advancement in HIV and other things like cancer, diabetes, and all that. So yeah, we'll stop there for today. I don't want to take too much of your time. Thanks for joining me. Remember to leave a like, subscribe, comment. If you don't feel like doing anything, just click to the next video or watch the previous videos. Thank you.